to our Algebra final study guide. I'm going to go ahead and record this, and if it records well, I'm going to go ahead and upload that on YouTube. Like I said, it will be available tomorrow. So if you want to make it a movie night with your parents, there you go. It's a 2-hour movie. Bam! Algebra greatest hits of Mr. Q's. Bam! All right, here we go. Stay focused. We're going to go through the entire study guide, and we'll have a break in between, and I'll let you know when that is. No more questions? Thank you. Here we go. Number 1. Everybody open up your study guide, please, to number 1. Write your name, date, period on it, and it's study guide C. So it says, at soccer practice, Natalie ran laps, practiced dribbling. After practice, she had a granola bar, a piece of fruit, and some fruit juice. Use the information in the table to determine the total calorie change. Once again, when we intake, it's a positive. When we outtake, it's a negative, right? Therefore, let's add all these in this column. We got 9 plus 2 plus 2, that's what? 13, carry 1. 7 plus 5, that's 12, plus 3, that's 15, plus 1, that's 16. Carry 1, and that is 2. Then we're going to combine that with our negatives, which are over here. 9 plus 1, that's 10, we got 1. 14 plus 1, that's 15, carry 1, that's 250. So, since we have opposite numbers, we're going to subtract, is that correct? 263 minus 250, that is 13. Therefore, Natalie, what can we write? Gained 13 calories. Thank you, Justin. All right. Can you guys hear me back there? Yes? All right. Let's go to number 2. Any questions on that one? Fairly simple. Just add all the positives, all the negatives, subtract, and then write your statement at the end. Let's go to number 2. Let me zoom in. Number 2 says, simplify. What? All right, here we go. It says simplify. First things first, how many expressions do you see here? It's one expression, but it has a combo of 2, is that correct? So I told you to draw a line down, put a multiplication sign in between, and we're going to start with the first expression. First expression, you distribute the power, and we get m to the negative 6, n to the positive 9. We got that one done. Let's do the next one. Distribute the power. We got m to the negative 6, n to the positive 6. Let me stop really quick. All right. So from here, since we are, what operation do we have throughout? Multiplication, is that correct? Since we're multiplying, what happens to the exponents, everyone? You add, therefore. Same base, m, and we're going to add the exponent, so we get what? Negative 12, same base n, and what do? Add the exponent, so that gives us 15. However, we're not done. Some of you leave it at that, but we're not done because we have a what? A negative exponent. Where does that one go? We send that to the denominator and changes into a positive exponent, and we leave this one on top, and we're done. How are we doing? Good? Let's go to number 3. Number 3. It says simplify. Notice that this is very similar, but now they have what? Numbers. So here we go. Draw a line down the middle so that we can work on the first expression and put multiplication there. And we're going to start by distributing the 4. But what do you guys notice over here? There's no exponent on the 4 or the x, so we put a 1 here and a 1 there. And now we distribute. Distribute the 4 there, 4 there, and 4 there. So we get 4 to the 4th, x to the 4th, and y to the 16th. Let's do the same with this one. Put a 1 here, distribute the exponent, x to the 2nd, y to the 2nd. Bless you. Now that we're done up to right here, let's focus on the numbers only. 4 to the 4th does not mean 4 times 4. Tell you never what I just said. Because a lot of you just do that, and that's why you're starting to get it wrong from the beginning. The one thing that I want you to do, I want you to write it out. This is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So what is 4 times 4? 16. What is 4 times 4? 16. 16 times 16, what's that, Danny? Thank you, Danny, 256. Okay, so we got that. We're done with the number. Now let's focus again with the variables. Are we multiplying? Yes, so that means we're going to add the exponents. Is that correct? So same basis, x to the 4th and x to the 2nd becomes x to the 6th. Same basis, y to the 16 and y to the 2nd becomes y to the 18, and we're done. Okay, right next to that, I want you to do this one by yourself. Example 2q. Parentheses, 7. Oh, 3. Yeah, I did that on purpose. 3q. 7x to the 2nd, y to the 6th, close parentheses, to the 3rd power, open parentheses, x to the 2nd, y, close parentheses, to the, give me a number, 5. There it is. Too late. 5. Go. See if you can do that by yourself. Bless you. Okay, check with the neighbor, see what they got. Alright, let's see. Here goes the process. Line down, multiplication, distribute this one, but what did we forget? The 1 here, so we need to put that 1 there. 7 to the 3rd, x to the 6th, y to the 18th. This one needs a 1 here, distribute the 5, x to the 10th, y to the 5th. Hands if you did up to right there. Okay, good. From there, this is 7 times 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49, times 7 is 343, and we're going to focus on the variables, and what are we adding? We're adding the exponents, same base, x to the 16, y to the 23, Michael Jordan. Hands if you got that. Okay, let's move on. Number 4. Here we go. It says, there are 3.76 times 10 to the 22nd atoms in 1 gram of oxygen. How many atoms are there in 400? So first thing we do is write it as a 3.76 times 10 to the 22nd, our scientific notation. But this is only for 1. What do we do to find out how many are there in 400? Multiply times 400. So, if we multiply times 400, we need to change the 400 into scientific notation. Is that correct? Therefore, the 400, do you guys see the invisible decimal? No. Now do you see it? Yes, we move it twice to the left. This becomes 4 times 10 to the second. Bring down the other expression, 3.76 times 10 to the 22nd. And now we're going to multiply. Once again, if we are multiplying, focus please, we're going to go first with the same bases. Which ones have the same base? 10 and 10. And if we're multiplying, what happens to the exponents? We add 22 plus 2, that's 24. Now, we're going to multiply these. Halsey, please. Thank you. Multiply these two. So therefore, 3.76 times 4. That's 24, we got 2. 28 plus 2, that's 30. We got 3. 12 plus 3, that's 15. So this is 15.04 times 10 to the 24th. Are we there so far? But are we done? No, because this is not scientific notation. Is that correct? We move the decimal over how many times? 1. This becomes 1.504 times 10 to the 25, because we added 1 because we moved the decimal. And we're done. No, why? Because it says round to the 2 decimal place. So where's the 2 decimal place? This 0. Does a 0 become a 1? No, because this one's not 5. Therefore our answer is 1.50 times 10 to the 25th. We good? Okay, let's go to number 5. Let me zoom in. Okay, so now we're done with multiplication only. Now they're going to start giving us a combination of division and multiplication. Okay? So, first things first. Since it's division, I'm going to go ahead and extend this bar right here. And I'm going to focus right now on the numerator. So, we distribute here, but what do we need on the 4th? A 1, so we distribute the 4 here and here. This becomes 4 to the 4th, and to the what? 28. And whatever we do to the numerator, we do to the denominator. So we distribute down here. This is n to the 12th, and to the 24th. So far so good? Alright, so now let's simplify first the number. This is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Didn't we see that already? So what is that? 256. Alright? Let's look at the same basis, m. Now that we're dividing, what happens to the exponents? Subtract. So 28 minus 12, that is 16, so this is m to the 16. And check this out. All you have to do, look up please. Some of you continue making this mistake. There is no n on the numerator, there's an n on the denominator. Just slide it over and write it up, and write it underneath, n to the 24th. Yes? Let's do another one of these. Example 5Q. See how you do? 3x to the 12th over x to the 4th, y to the 7th, close parentheses, to the 4th power. Go. See how you do with that one. What'd you get for this one? Go ahead, please, Lauren G. (81x to the what? 32 over y to the 28. Hands, have you got that? That is correct. All right, yes, 81, because this is 3 to the 4th, is that correct? Which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 9 times 9 is what? 81. Let's move on, number 6. Simplify the expression. Here we go. When you get to this one, start by boxing the first exponent and make that into a radical. This is cube root because of that 3, is that correct? And what is the radicand? 64. So what does this mean? What number times itself 3 times give us 64, and that number is 4. Then you write the plus. Let's do the same to this one. Box your exponent. This becomes a radical. And the radicand is 49. What is square root of 49? 7, and that is equal to 11. Is everybody for 7, 11? Let's do another one. Example 6Q. Let's do 27 to the 1/3 plus 32 to the 1/5. Go, see what you get. Okay, here we go. We wrote cube root of 27, which is 3, is that correct? Plus 5th root of 32. Oops, sorry. 5 times, which is 2, therefore this is 5. And you got that. Okay, let's move on. Number 7. Here we go. Simplify the expression. All variables are non-negative numbers. Start with the number first. All right, here we go. Square root of 16. Everyone? 4. So we're done with the number. Let's go with this one. Make a note for yourself. This has to be an even number. Why? Because we have an index of what? 2, and 2 only divides into even numbers. So 5, if we take away 1, it becomes a what? So this becomes w to the 4th times w to the 1st. Because 4 plus 1 becomes what? 5. So the index is 2. Now we can divide. What is 4 divided by 2? W to the 2nd. Which one we couldn't simplify? This one. So we leave it alone. Let's go back over here to the original one. Z to the 4th, and square root of that, this becomes Z to the 2nd, because we divide. So we're done with this one. Which is the only one we couldn't simplify? W to the 1st, so that stays as W to the 1st. Let's do another one, example 7Q. Square root 400 x to the 9th, y to the 10th. Go. Let's see what you get for this one. Go ahead, Sean. 20x to the 4th, y to the what? What else? Hands if you got that. That is correct. Let's move on. Number 8. Bam. Number 8. Here we go. What's that? Okay. Number 8. Once again, we have two expressions multiplying each other, so to indicate the multiplication, you draw a line in between them and put the little multiplication sign in between like so. Okay? Since we have a parenthesis here, we're going to distribute the exponent. That gives us a to the 16 and b to the 4th. We're done with this one. What happens here? Divide. So this becomes b to the 1st. Are we done? No. Since we're multiplying, these are the same basis. What happens to the exponents? Add, so this is to the 5th. Bring down the a to the 16, and we're done. Go to number 9. Number 9. Man, we're flying through these. Write the polynomial in standard form. Give the leading coefficient and classify the polynomial. Here we go. So, when you get to this one, we're going to box each term and give it a degree. The degree is given by the sum of the exponents on the variable. What is the exponent? So this is the first degree. What is the next one? 2. What is the next one? 0, because it doesn't have a variable. So let's organize this from greatest to least. So we get 10x squared minus 15x plus 11. So our leading coefficient is 10, and what is the highest degree? 2, so it's a quadratic. How many terms? 3, so it's a trinomial. Quadratic, the exponent of 2, because how did we get this from the area model, right? How many sides does that have? That's where the quad comes from the area model. Let's go to number 10. It says subtract. What happens when you have a subtraction sign here? It changes all of this. I'm going to give you a head start. Do this one by yourself, and then I'll go ahead and come right after and see if you got it right. Go. 20 seconds. Here we go. This changed all of these to negative c to the 4th, negative 3c, positive 4. This one does not have a negative, so it just rewrites the same. Are we there so far? Since we are subtracting, we don't do anything to the exponents. Tell your neighbor, please. So, combine like terms. So we have another C4. Yes, right here, c to the 4th. We write it, we leave it alone, and we're going to focus on the coefficients. This is 1. So it's negative 1. This is 9. So 9 minus 1, that is 8. Next one, C and C. Does everybody see? All right. Coefficient is negative 1 and negative 3. That's negative 4. Bring down the plus 4, and we're done. Hands if you got that by yourself. Good. Let's move on, please. Number 11. Here we go. Multiply. When we got to this one, I remember I asked you, the easiest method to do this one is drawing your area model right underneath the binomial. Is that correct? Do that right now, please. Draw your area model down the middle like so, and we're going to distribute this expression into each term. So, this times this, and this times this. Let's see, I'm going to give you a head start of 15 seconds. Go. Careful with this one, because we multiply the numbers, but we're multiplying variables, which means what do we do to the exponents? Add the exponents. Careful with this one. All right, here we go. Numbers times numbers. What is my coefficient here? 1. So what is negative 5 times 1? Negative 5. All right? C to the 5th times C to the 6th. We add the exponent, so that is C to the 11th. D to the 2nd times D to the 5th. What happens to the exponents? We add them, so that's D to the 7th. Negative 5 times 5, that's negative 25. C to the 5th times C to the 1st, that's C to the 6th. D to the 2nd times D to the 5th, that's D to the 7th, and we're done. Why? We can't go any further because the variables do not have the exact same exponents. We got it? Go to number 12. As you're working that out, let me record this one. So first on this one, once again, to recap, we multiply numbers times numbers, variables times variables, and if we multiply the variables, we're adding the exponents. That's how we get 11 times 22 over 1, which becomes 22 over 11, which is 2. And this is x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, that's x to the 7, r to the 3rd, r to the 2nd, r to the 5th, z to the 4th, z to the 4th, z to the 8th. And right now we are on number, what number is this? 13. And they use the distributive property and area model. So let's see, some of you already have the product for this one. Here it goes. I take the first and I distribute to these two right here. So 5x times 5x, that's 25x squared. 5x times negative 5, that's negative 25x. I'm going to do the same to this one. Negative 5 times 5x, that's negative 25x. Negative 5 times negative 5, that's positive 25. So, from there, combine like terms. 25x, negative 25x, that's negative 50x. Bring down the 25x squared, and bring down the positive 25. Hands if you got that? Okay. The area model. Same thing. Get your area model, you write 5x minus 5. 5x minus 5. Distribute 25x squared. Negative 25, negative, 25x, negative 25x, and this is positive 25. We write our first term, which is 25x squared. Draw your peanut, negative 25, that's negative 50x, and bring down the last term, plus 25, and that's the same as that one. Tell me with your fingers how comfortable you are with these. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Okay, we got some 12s, some 5s. All right, thank you. Let's move on. Number 14. Let me zoom out. It says, 14. It says, a rectangular garden with length 3 times its width is to be expanded so that both sides are increased by 8 yards. So if it says a rectangular garden, we draw a what? We draw a what? Rectangle to draw our area model. So draw that, please. And then it says, the length 3 times its width. Do we know what the width is? No, so we're going to label it x. And the length is 3 times. So that means 3x. And both sides increase by 8. We draw an area model and distribute. Here we go. X times 3x, that's 3x squared. X times 8, that's 8x. 8 times 3x, that's 24x. 8 times 8, that's 64. Let's rewrite this. Area equals 3x squared. Draw your peanut. Combine those. 32x, and at the end, plus 64. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. So I'm assuming these couple of weeks of practice, it did help, right? Good. All right, here we go. Let's go to number 15. Let me zoom in. On these, even though they're very simple, some of you are forgetting to do the check or get the property. So I'm going to give you a head start on that one. Solve that one by yourself, and then I'll go right after. Go. All right, here we go. Write down the equal sign. We need to get rid of the 7 that's dividing, so we need to multiply both sides times 7. We're left with 6x plus 2 equals 56. Subtract 2, subtract 2. 6x equals 54. Divide by 6. X equals 9. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. The check. I write 6x plus 2 over 7 equals 8. 6 times 9 plus 2 over 7 equals 8. 6 times 9, that's 54, plus 2 over 7 equals 8. 56 divided by 7 equals 8. What is 56 divided by 7? 8 equals 8. And we're done. Let's go to number 16. Yay, our favorite. Alright. It says, solve and name the properties used. So let's solve this first. We have fractions all over the place. To get rid of the fractions, what do? Multiply times the least common denominator, which is 20. Let's distribute to each term. So we get negative 60 over 4k plus 80 over 5 equals 40 over 5, negative 40 over 5k. Let's simplify. Negative 60 divided by 4, that's what? Negative 15. Okay. Plus 80 divided by 5, that's 16 equals 8 minus 8k. So, at this point, we're going to get all variables to one side. Where do I start? At the negative 15, so we add 15k, add 15k. We're left with 16 equals 8 plus 7k. We're still not done. We need to isolate the variables, so we get rid of the 8. So subtract 8, subtract 8. This is 8 equals 7k. What's our last step? Divide by 7. Therefore, 1 1/7 equals k. Okay? But we're not done. What's next? Properties. Make sure you don't forget. Here we go. Distributive. From here, this is just simplification, but here, what did we do to each side? We added, so it's addition, property of equality. From here, we subtracted, so subtraction, property of equality. And the last step was division, property of equality. Go to number 17, sorry. Are we good with this one? Number 17. Here we go. Find three consecutive integers such that twice the greatest integer is 5 less than 3 times the least. So, let me zoom out. How many integers are we talking about? 3, so that means we draw 3 lines down. 1, 2, 3, 1 across. 1 integer, 2 integers, 3 integers, and our total. Do we know what the first integer is? No, so we label it x. Since we don't know what the next consecutive is, it's x plus 1, and this one is x plus 2. So, let's decipher the word problem. It says, twice the greatest integer. Which is my greatest integer? X plus 2. What is twice that? You do 2 times x plus 2. Next, it says the word is the equal sign. Now, let's go to the last part. The last part is this, but I'm going to focus on the last part of that, which is this. 3 times the least. Which one is the least of these? X. What is 3 times that? It's 3x. And it says 5 less. What do we write? Minus 5. Now that we have our equation, draw your line down. Let's distribute and solve. Here we go. This becomes 2x plus 4 equals 3x minus 5. Minus 2x minus 2x. 4 equals x minus 5 plus 5 plus 5. 9 equals x. And we're done. We're not done. So x is 9. What is the next one? 10 and 11. Oh, I put 10 again. I did that to see if you're paying attention. So here we're going to write the 3 integers are 9, 10, and 11. 10 cubed. Are we done? No, we're not done. Why? Because they want the properties used. So here we go. First one is distributive. What do we do next right here? Subtractive. Subtraction property of equality. Next one we added, so addition property of equality. How we doing? Okay. All right, number 18. It says, the fuel for a chainsaw mix has oil and gasoline. What does it have? Oil and gasoline. Which is the first one that they mentioned here for the ratio? Oil. The second one is gasoline. So this number, we're going to make into a fraction. 7 over 16. And then we're going to make a proportion. The 7 corresponds to the oil. The 16 corresponds to the gasoline. So that tells us that the gasoline goes in the denominator. So what number do they give us here? 80 gallons of. So it goes down here. So, do we know how much oil we have? No, we label it X. Cross multiply. 16X equals 560. And we divide by 16. X equals 560 divided by 16. Fits in here 3 times, that's 48. Subtract, that's 80. Fits in there 5 times, that's 80. So therefore, how many ounces of oil are there? 35 ounces. And your little statement. There are 35 ounces of oil in 80 gallons of gas. Oh, 80. 10 cubed. Okay, let's write a statement for that. Go to number 19. Any questions with this one? No, let's move on to the 19. Yay, percents. As soon as you see the word percent, what do we write? Is over of equals percent over 100. And we rewrite this again, but with blanks. Fraction blank equals to fraction blank over 100. This never changes. So, what is the of? 217, it goes down here. What is the is? 28. And this one is x, so we're looking for the percent, yes? So, 217 x equals to 2800. Divide by 217, divide by 217, x equals, and I'll give you a head start for that one, and I'll come back and see what you got. Go. Okay, let's see. 2800 divided by 217 fits in there once. 630. 217 fits in here 2 times. That's 434. Subtract, so we're left with, let's see, I'll borrow from here, that's a 5. Borrow from here, this is 12. 6, 9, 196. We're going to add a decimal, 0. 217 fits in there how many times? How many? 9. 9 times 7, 63. We got 6. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 6, that's 15. 18 plus 1, that's 19. That's 7. And I'll stop right there. This is 12.9%. Alright? Just remember, you need to round it to the nearest tenth, which means you need it to go maybe one more. I'm going to stop right there just for the sake of time. Alright, let's go to number 20. Oh, yeah. Solving graphs. Here it goes. Draw your line down the equal sign. Minus 8, minus 8. We're left with absolute value, 8x minus 2 equals to 8. Do we have anything else outside the absolute value? No. So right there we're going to draw 2 equations. One negative 8. So this is 8x minus 2 equals that. And one positive one. So this is 8x minus 2 equals 8. That's all. Plus 2 plus 2. 8x equals negative 6. Divide by 8, divide by 8. X equals negative 3/4. Plus 2 plus 2. 8x equals 10. Divide by 8, divide by 8. X equals 1 1/4. Yes? So, let's graph this. 1 1/4, where's that at? 1/4 is a little bit further this way, about 1/4 of the way, so it's right there. Negative 3/4 is in between here, so it's about right there. Therefore, our solution set is negative 3/4, comma, 1 1/4. How we doing? Okay. Still another one of these. Example 20Q. Absolute value 5x minus 3. Close the absolute value. Plus 3 equals, what is it? 7. See what you get? Go. Okay, I gave you a head start on this one. Let's see what we got. Line down the equal sign. Subtract 3, subtract 3. We're left with absolute value, 5x minus 3 equals 4. At that point, we write two equations. One for the negative 4. 5x minus 3. And one for the positive 4. 5x minus 3 equals 4, and we solve. Plus 3 plus 3. 5x equals negative 1. Divide by 5. X equals negative 1/5. Plus 3 plus 3. 5x equals 7. Divide by 5, divide by 5, x equals 1 and 2/5. Our solution set, negative 1/5, comma, 1 and 2/5. Hands, if you got that. That is correct. If you want to write it in decimal, that's fine. This is negative 0.2. And this is positive 1.4. All right? Go to number 21. Number 21. It says, a rent-a-car agency charges $15 per day plus 12 cents per mile to rent a certain car. Another car agency charges $21 per day plus 9 cents per mile to rent the same car. How many miles per day will have to be driven for the cost of the car from the first agency to equal the cost of the car from the second agency? So how many agencies are we talking about? 2. 2 lines down. 1, 2. 1 across. Agency A, Agency B, and our total. So let's see. Let's set up agency A. So, it says, the first agency charges $15 per day. That's a month, so this is plus 15. Let's look at the rate, 12 cents per mile. How can we write 12 cents? 0.12, since we don't know how many miles, we write that X. Go to the second one. The other agency charges $21 per day, so we put plus 21. How much per mile? 9 cents. How can we write that in decimal? 0.09. Since we don't know how many miles, it's X. And the key word here is what? Equal the cost. That means equal, that means we're going to write this one equal to that one. So we got 0.12x plus 15 equals to 0.09x plus 21. Line down the equal sign, let's solve this. What is my smallest variable? 0.09, so I subtract 0.09x. Subtract 0.09x from each side. We're left with 0.03x plus 15 equals 21. Continue. Subtract 15, subtract 15. We got 0.03x equals 6. Divide by 0.03, divide by 0.03. X equals, we got 6 divided by 0.03. We need to move the decimal how many times? Twice. Add 2 zeros. Get rid of that 0. Fits in there twice. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So it's 200 miles. Write your statement. The agencies need to drive 200 miles to equal in cost. 10Q. Yeah, let's do another one of these. If you don't have room, make room. You can write it sideways on the side on the margin. Here we go. Copy this one. You don't have to copy the problem, just set it up. Let me zoom in. It says, one agency charges 20 per day plus 13 cents per mile. The other one charges 26 per day plus 7 cents per mile. See what you get. Go. There goes the setup for this one. First agency should be 0.13x plus 20 equals to 0.07x plus 26 minus 0.07x minus 0.07x .06x plus 20 equals 26 minus 20. 0.06x equals 6 divided by 0.06. X equals 6 divided by 0.06. Move the decimal over twice, add 2 zeros. 6 fits into 600, 100 times, 100 miles. Number 22. Here we go. Line down the inequality symbol. Here we go. Distribute the negative 9. Let me zoom in a little bit more. This becomes negative 18x plus 45 greater than or equal to negative 9x plus 5. All variables to one side, where do I start? At negative 18, so I add 18x to each side. We're left with 45 greater than or equal to 9x plus 5. From there, subtract 5 from each side. We're left with 40 greater than or equal to 9x. And our last step, divide by 9. And we get 4 and 4 nines greater than or equal to x. Four times 9 is 36. Yeah, 0. All right, here we go. Let's graph this. 4 and 4 nines. Where's that at? Close to 5? Yes. So, is it an open or closed point? Closed because it has a little bar. So it's about right here. And let's test the point. Which point do you want to test? 5 or 4? 5. Let's test 5. So let's see. Is 4 and 4 nines greater than or equal to 5? No, it doesn't work, so we're going to shade to the opposite direction over here. So write a solution set. Solution set of x such that 4 and 4 nines is greater than or equal to x. And we're done. Move on to number 23. Here we go. Line down the inequality symbol. Here we go. Get rid of, remember on these, we always start with addition and subtraction. So we start right here. So we add 1, we're left with negative 2, absolute value x plus 3, less than negative 9. Our next step, we need to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Tell your neighbor what happens when we did that. You flip the inequality symbol because we divided by a negative, so it's 4.5. So far so good? So at this point, do we have anything else outside the absolute value? No, so we're going to write two inequalities. One negative, so the 4.5 turns into negative 4.5. Since it turned to a negative, what happens to the inequality symbol? Switches again, so this is x plus 3. And we're going to write another one, a positive, so it's x plus 3 greater than 4.5. Are we there so far? All right, next. Here we go. Solve for this one. Minus 3 minus 3. You get x less than negative 7.5. Right here. We subtract 3, x greater than 1.5. So, let's cross this. This one is negative 7.5. Where's negative 7.5? It's right in between here. Is it an open or closed point? Open because it doesn't have the bar, so it's open. There it is. Which one do you want to test? Negative 8 or negative 7? Okay, negative 7. Is negative 7 less than negative 7.5? No. So we're going to shade that one. Let's cross the second one. 1.5 is in between 1 and 2, and it's an open point, right? Which of these do you want to test, 1 or 2? 2? Okay, let's see. Is 2 greater than 1.5? Yeah, so we're going to shade in that direction. So if you notice, these are not intersecting, so these are OR. So let's find our solution set. Solution set for all x such that, what is our first inequality? X less than negative 7.5 or x greater than 1.5, close bracket, and that's our solution set. Let's go to the next one, number 24. Okay, here we go. It says, give the domain and range of the relation, tell whether it's a function. So, first thing we do when we get to this, what is the very first thing we do? We write our sets, right? So we write D for domain, blank less than or equal to x less than or equal to blank. R, set less than or equal to y less than or equal to blank. So, right now we're going to focus on our x value. X value is all these values here. So, where does this graph start? Does it start at negative 5? Negative 4? Negative 3? Yeah, so that's our first number, negative 3. And it continues on, and where does it end? At positive 3. There it is. Now let's go to the next one. Where does it start on the y? On the y. It starts at negative 2, and then ends at 2. So, let's test to see if this is a function. For those of you that forgot, I said sketch a line going through one of the x values and move it from left to right. Yes. Right. Here we go. Is it touching 2 points right there? Yes, here and here. There and there. So therefore this is not a function. Nice. Go to number 25. Determine the relationship. See if you can do this one by yourself. I'll help you with the first step. Here we go. Y equals blank x blank. If I need the relationship for that, I'll give you 15 seconds head start. Go. Alright. So for these, we said that whenever something's happening to x to get y, if it's multiplication or division, the number goes here. If it's addition or subtraction, the number goes here. So what's happening to x to get y? What's happening to x? Who saw that we're multiplying by -4? Okay, so that one goes here. So my equation is y equals -4x. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, let's go to number 26. Here we go. It says, for f of x equals 7x plus 2, find f of x when x is -1. For this one, remember I said, let's rewrite it underneath, but without the x's. 7 parentheses plus 2. Remember that? So, why? Because we're going to substitute for x what number? -1. Then I said, rewrite this again 2 times. F of -1, f of -1. Why? Because we're going to simplify the right side only. What is 7 times -1? -7 plus 2. What is -7 plus 2? -5. And we're done. That's it. Let's do another one. Example 26Q. I want you to find me for f of x equals 12x plus 15 when x equals to -4. Go. It says f of x equals 12x plus 15 when x is -4. First thing you should have done is f of blank, 12 parentheses plus 15. Is that correct? You substitute -4, -4, and you wrote this 2 times. So 12 times -4, that's -48 plus 15, and this becomes -33. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, let's move on. Number 27. Find the slope of the line that contains those 2 points. Let's see, everyone, the formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the first thing you do. The second thing we do, we rewrite this, but with a negative on the numerator and the negative on the denominator. If you don't do that, you're probably going to make a mistake. The third thing we do, we label our points. This is x sub 1, y sub 1. This one is x sub 2, y sub 2. Let's see, I'm going to give you some time to finish that off, see if you get it by yourself. Go. Okay, here we go. First, I'm going to focus on the numerator. The numerator has y2 minus y1. y2 is -2. y1 is -6. Now I'm going to go to the denominator. Whoa. x2 is negative 6. x1 is 5. This becomes, negative times a negative is a 4 over negative 11. So my slope is 4 over negative 11. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, good. Number 28. For this one, remember they need to be in y form, is that correct? This one's in y form, this one's in y form, we need to change this one and this one. So, let's distribute this here. This becomes y minus 8 equals negative 1/8x plus 4 over 8, which is what? I'm going to write it, 4 over 8. For right now, I'll leave it like that. From here, add 8. This becomes y equals negative 1/8x plus 8. What is 4 over 8? 1/2. There it is. So we're done with this one. Let's focus on this one now. This one we subtract x, negative 1/8y equals negative x plus 5. We need to get rid of the negative 1/8. It's multiplying. How do we get rid of that fraction? By multiplying times the reciprocal. Negative 8 over 1 times negative 8 over 1. This becomes a giant 1. We're left with y equals, distribute the negative 8, that's 8x minus 40. So, which of these have the same slope? Line 1 has 8, line 4 has 8. Do they have different y-intercepts? Yes. Therefore, you write line 1 is parallel to line 4. Yes? What's that? Another one of these? Alright, let's do another one of these. Okay, here we go. Once again, we need to make these in y form. This one's already in y form, so don't worry about that one. Is this one in y form? No, so we distribute. So what do we write? Y plus 1 equals negative 2x minus 8. Minus 1 minus 1. Y equals negative 2x minus 9. We're done with that one. Is this one in y form? Yes. How about this one? No. So we subtract x. We're left with negative 1/3 y equals negative x minus 4. Finish this one solving for y. See if you can finish that up. I'll give you a head start. Go. Okay, let's see. Here, to get rid of the negative 1/3, what do? Multiply times the reciprocal, which is negative 3 over 1 times negative 3 over 1. We're left with y equals 3x plus 12. Hands if you got that. That is correct. So now, at that point, which ones have the same slope? 3 and 4, do they have different y-intercepts? Yes. So line 3 is parallel to line 4. Number 29. Here we go. This is the last one, and then we'll take a little break. Yes? Here we go. So, we need to change this into y form, which means I need to leave y by itself. What do? Subtract 10x. We're left with 5y equals negative 10x plus 30. What's my next step? Divide by 5, divide by 5. Y equals negative 2x plus what? 6. Let's graph this. Where do we start? 6, which is up here. What do we need next? The slope, which is 2 down and 1 to the right. 1, 2, 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 1 to the right. And you sketch your line. Okay. All right. So we'll stop right there, and I'm going to do another one for Wyatt only. The rest of you can go outside. Oh, who wanted another one? Oh, for Justin. Here we go. So the rest of you, if you want to start lining up over there, and the rest of you outside. And I'll pause this for right now. Number 30. It says, using any method, solve 2x plus y equals 1 and y equals x plus 4. So we have three methods, right? Graphing, substitution, and elimination. Which one do you want to use? Substitution or graphing is the easiest one, right? I'm going to use graphing right now so that you guys can see how that's done. Here it goes. I'm going to graph this second equation. Let's do this one together. We start with positive 4. Plot your point at positive 4. There it is. And we need the slope. Slope is what? 1 over 1. That means 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right. Now, to make our line straight, to ensure that, what was the process? 1 up, 1 to the right, and I started from 4, right? But to go the opposite way, I go 1 down and 1 to the left. 1 down, 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 1 to the left. And then you sketch your line as straight as possible. There it is, nice and straight like mine. There it is. Let's graph the second one. For the second one, if you notice, it's not in Y form. Is that correct? I'm going to rewrite it over here so you guys can see it. I'm going to rewrite this one over here. 2x plus y equals 1. We need to solve for y. That means we need to get rid of the x. Therefore, subtract 2x, subtract 2x. We have y equals negative 2x plus 1. Are we there so far? All right, now let's graph this. We start at what? 1, plot your point. And we use a slope. That means 2 steps down, 1 to the right. 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 And to go to the opposite direction, starting from 1, instead of 2 steps down, 1 to the right, we go 2 steps up and 1 to the left. 2 steps up, 1 to the left, and you sketch your line. Do you guys see where the lines intersect? Yes, where do they intersect? Right here. So the answer is negative 1, 3, and that's my solution. And we're done. Yes? Okay, let's move on. Let's go to number 31. Graph the line with slope negative 2 that contains the point 3, 0. So for this one, first things first, we need to plot that point. Negative 3, 0. Where's that at? Negative 3, 0 is negative 3, 0 is right here. Plot your point. And what is the slope? Slope tells me to go down 2 steps and 1 to the right. So 2 steps down, 1 to the right, 2 steps down, 1 to the right, 2 steps down, 1 to the right. Graph your line. And we're done. Yes? Yeah. Now, in case you couldn't plot this point on the graph, the other way of finding or graphing the line is like this. You write y equals mx plus b. And we substitute values. What is this one? This one is m. What is this one? X. This one is y. So what is y? 0. What is m? -2. What is x? -3 plus b. How we doing? Good? And then from there, we multiply. 0 equals -2 times -3, that's 6 plus b. And we need to solve. -6 minus 6, -6 equals b. So we are going to write our equation right above this. Y equals, instead of m, what goes there? -2x. Instead of b, we write what? -6. That's our equation. So let's see, how do we graph this? We start at -6. Where's -6? Right there. What is my slope? 2 down, 1 to the right. Just imagine that there's tallies here. 1, 2, 1 to the right. All you need is those 2 points and you graph your line and it's going to be the same line. Does that make sense? Okay. Go to number 32. Yeah, our favorite. It says, an airplane travels 1,000 miles from Houston to Miami, 8 hours against the wind. The return trip is with the wind. It takes 6 hours. Find the rate of the plane. With no wind, find the rate of the wind. Okay, I'll give you a head start for this one. You should have plenty of practice for this one now. Go. Okay, here we go. 3 lines down, 2 across, rate, time, distance. 1,000 miles, 8 hours against the wind. Against wind. So it's P minus W, 8 hours, 1,000. The next one is with the wind, P plus W, 6 hours, same distance. That's 1 point. Let's write our equations. P minus W times 8 equals 1,000. P plus W times 6 equals 1,000. Divide by 8. Divide by 6. So here we're left with P minus W equals 125. Is that correct? Right here we're left with P plus W equals 1,000 divided by 6 is what? $166.6? Yes? Alright. Combined like terms 2P is approximately I'm going to round this one to 167, so that gives me 292. Divide by 2, P equals 146 miles per hour. I take this one. P plus W equals 167. P is 146 plus W equals 167. Minus 146. W equals 21 miles per hour. Hands if you got that or something close to that, because we estimated. Very good. And your statement, right? Remember, this one is worth 5 points. Make sure you write all the components, yes. In this case, I estimated because we have the 0.6 and it continues, so you could have left it at partial or rounded. Move on to number 33. Without graphing, tell whether 4, 5 is a solution to y greater than 2x or y less than plus 1, x plus 1. So for this one, we need to write the first inequality. Y greater than or equal to 2x. And we're going to substitute values. This is x, this is y. Here we go. So we substitute values. Y is 5. X is 4. 5 is greater than or equal to 8. If 5 is greater than or equal to 8, it's false, so you're going to write not a solution to the system. 10 here. Does that make sense? If one of them is not true, then the whole thing is not true. So in order for it to be a solution, both of them has to be true. Is that correct? All right, let's move on. Number 34. Graph the system of linear inequalities. Let me zoom out. Let me get that and put that on the side. Now I'll zoom in. All right, let's graph this. I'm going to start with the top one. Here we go. Start at positive 4. What's my slope? 3 down, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 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 1 to the right. Let's graph our line. What kind of line is it? Dash or solid? Y dash. Because it doesn't have the equal sign, right? All right, let's graph that. So, let's shade. I'm going to use the y, the less than. What else do I need? The plus 4. So this is y is less than positive 4. Where's positive 4? Right here. What y values are less than positive 4? 3, 2, 1, everything down here. So we're going to shade everything below that line. All the way to this side. Let's graph the second one. Negative 3. My slope is 3 up, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. And what kind of line is this? Solid, because it does have the little dash, right? So it's a solid. Oh. Let me change colors. It is a solid line. There it is. And let's shade. We need the y, the less than or equal to, and the negative 3. Y is less than negative 3. Here's negative 3. What numbers are less than negative 3? Negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, all these down here. Under that blue line and everything to the right. Does everybody see what both shadings intersect? Yes, let me highlight it so you can see it. It's right there. And what is that known as? The solution set. So, I want you to give me one point that's a solution, or part of the solution, and one that is not a solution. Let's see. One that is a solution. Julia. 1, negative 1. Is it in there? Yes. So 1, negative 1. Not solution. Eric. What? He said 1 and 1,000. 1 and 1,000 is way up there. It's not part of the solution. That is correct. How are we doing? Okay, let's go to number 35. Yeah. Quadratics. Here we go. Number 35 says, factor completely. So, first thing that comes up in our mind when we see the word factor is what? GCF. So, do we have a GCF for these three terms? Negative 4, because remember the first term is a negative, therefore it's negative 4. We're left with b squared minus 4b plus 4. From there, we can factor this one by opening two parentheses. Factor the first term, b and b. Power Rangers, This is 4, negative 4. This is my product, this is my sum. What factors of 4 add up to negative 4? Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4. Don't forget about the BFF. What's another way of writing this? Negative 4 times b minus 2 squared. Let's do another one of these. Example 35Q. See if you can do that one by yourself. Factor 12m squared plus 48m plus 48 completely. Go, I'll give you a head start of 20 seconds. Let's see what we got. GCF is 12, is that correct? We're left with m squared plus 4m plus 4. That one can be factored. Power Rangers, 4 and 4, 2 and 2, m plus 2, m plus 2. Bring down to 12. 12 times m plus 2 squared, and those are my factors. Hands, have you got that? Good. Let's move on. Number 36. Here we go. Factor. Do we have a GCF first? No. Since we have 4 terms, we group them by 2s. These 2 and these 2. Focus, please. So, what's GCF for these 2? X squared. And we're left with 2 and 1x plus. We took out the x squared, we're left with 11. Plus, what's GCF for these 2? 9. And we're left with 2x plus 1. Now, what's the same here and here? No, I'm saying, is 2x plus 1 the same as 2x plus 11? No, if it's not the same, then up to right there, and we're done. If they were the same, then you do the next step. Is that correct? Write your 2 binomials. Okay? Let's go to number 37. 37. Let me zoom out really quick. So for this one, they're asking us to solve the graph using the roots, solve first, and then graph using roots, y-intercepts, and vertex. So, let's solve this. To solve this, each equation needs to be equal to what? 0. It's equal to negative 11. How do we cancel that negative 11? Add 11 to each side. We're left with r squared plus 12r plus 11 equals 0. At this point, we can factor this, can't we? Open two parentheses, equal to 0. Factor the first term, r and r. Power Rangers, 11 goes on top, 12 goes down here. What factors of 11 add up to 12? 11 times 1. So r plus 11, r plus 1. So we need to write these each equal to 0. R plus 11 equal to 0. R plus 1 equal to 0. Why? What property is that? The zero product property. Because they're multiplying, it's equal to 0. So let's solve. Minus 11 minus 11. R equals negative 11. Minus 1 minus 1. R equals negative 1. These are called my roots. X-intercepts. Zeros, bless you. Solutions. Yes. So, what was step 1 to solve? Did we solve already? Yes, these are my solutions. Now we're going to graph. To graph, we need roots. Do we have roots? Yes. Do we have a y-intercept? Yes. Look up, please. Once you have your equation in standard form, the constant, which is 11, is our y-intercept. Make sure you draw an arrow so you can remember. So what is the only thing we need to worry about? The vertex. So, the vertex is the lowest or highest point, so we're going to write vertex. Open a parentheses, because we need a coordinate. And we're going to find our x value for the vertex. To find our x value, we're going to write x equals negative v over 2a. So where do we get a and b? From our equation, is that correct? So we label this a, b, c. So what is a, everyone? 1. What is b? 12. And what is c? 11. So we only need a and b. So therefore this is negative 12 over 2 times 1. So this is negative 12 over 2, which is what? Negative 6 goes here. What's that? Yeah. This is x equals negative v over 2a, negative 12 over 2 times 1. This is negative 12 over 2. So this is negative 6, and that goes right here. But now we need a y value. A y value that goes right here. So where do we get that one from? Check this out. Look up. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to get that from our equation that's already in standard form. Look up, please. Right here. I'm going to rewrite this one here. R squared plus 12r plus 11, and now it's going to be equal to y instead of 0. Remember that? Okay? So now instead of r, I'm going to substitute negative 6. So this is negative 6 squared plus 12 times negative 6 plus 11 equals y. So what is negative 6 squared? 36 minus 72 plus 11 equals y. What is 36 minus 72? Negative 36 plus 11 equals y. Negative 36 plus 11, that's negative 25 equals y, and that goes right here. Okay, let's graph this. So, here it goes. Do we have our roots? What are they? Negative 11 and negative 1. So negative 1 is right here, and negative 11 is over here. What is our y-intercept? 11. So it goes up here. I'm going to zoom out so we can see the vertex, because it's going to be very way down there. Here we go. Our vertex is negative 6, negative 25. Negative 6, negative 25. Just guesstimate as far down as you can, and then just label it negative 25 there. And then once we get that, we draw our parabola. Whoop. Nice and straight like mine. Let me make this a little bit straighter, sorry. There you go. There it is. A little bit better. And that's how you graph that quadratic. Yes? Is the line what? Yeah, it barely touches the vertex. Okay, let's go to number 38. 38. Solve. Let me zoom in. Once again, when solving any quadratic, what is our first step? It needs to be equal to what? 0. What is it equal to right now? 6x. How do we cancel that 6x? Minus 6x minus 6x. We're left with 0 equals 2x squared minus 6x minus 8. Is there a GCF here? 2. We're left with x squared minus 3x minus 4. All that equal to 0. From there, let's factor this one. Bring down the 2, equal to 0. Factor the first term, x and x. Power Ranger, negative 4, negative 3. What factors of negative 4 add up to negative 3? What is it? Negative 4 times 1. X minus 4, x plus 1. At that point, we're going to write each one of these equal to 0. So this is 2 equal to 0. X minus 4 equal to 0. X plus 1 equal to 0. So, is this true? No, they cancel. Here, we got plus 4 plus 4, x equals 4, minus 1, x equals negative 1, and those are my roots, x-intercepts, zeros, my solutions, and we're done. How are we doing? Another one of these? We're good? Okay, let's go to number 39. 39. Solve by completing the square. So for this one they already gave us 3 steps, is that correct? So the first step was setting it in standard form. They did that. Step 2, they divided by the leading coefficient. Step 3, they eliminated the constant. Make sure you write the steps so you remember the process for completing the square. Because you need these steps for deriving the quadratic formula, right? Step 4, we add b over 2 squared. Okay? So, according to this equation, what is b? Negative 22. A is 1, this is negative 22 is b, so we're going to add negative 22 over 2 squared to each side. Negative 22 over 2 squared to each side. So, we're left with x squared minus 22x. Negative 22 divided by 2, that's negative 11. What is negative 11 squared? Plus 121 equals 121 plus 23. Let's simplify this side. This is 144. Bring this down. X squared minus 22x plus 121. Let's go to step 5. Going to factor. So since we know this is a perfect square already, do we need to do the Power Rangers? No, we use the shortcut, right? Square root of the first. X. Square root of the last. 11. What is the sign of the middle? Minus. And that is squared equals to 144. And our step 6. First we take the square root. Why? Because we need to cancel this one, right? Square root of this side, square root of this side. We're left with x minus 11 equals plus minus, what is square root of 144? 12. Let's solve for x. What do? Add 11, add 11. X equals 11 plus minus 12. And now we can write our 2 equations. X sub 1 is 11 plus 12. X sub 2, X sub 2 is 11 minus 12. Therefore, this is 23, and this one is negative 1. And those are my roots, x-intercepts, zeros, or my solutions. How we doing? Let's go to number 40. It says solve 2x equals x squared minus 15 by using the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Here we go. Once again, in order to solve this, we need to have it what? Equal to 0. Therefore, what do? Subtract 2x, subtract 2x. We're left with 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 15. Since we're trying to solve using quadratic formula, next step we identify A, B, and C. A, B, C. What is A? 1. What is B? And what is C? Negative 15. And now we write our formula. Everyone. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. There you go. So now let's rewrite this, but instead of the variables, we're going to write, we're going to open parentheses. X equals minus, open parentheses, plus minus, square root, parentheses squared, minus 4, parentheses, parentheses, over 2, parentheses. So let's see. A is 1, so that goes here and here. B is negative 2, so that goes here and here. C is negative 15, so it goes right here. Let's simplify. X equals negative times the negative is a positive 2 plus minus square root. What is negative 2 squared? 4. Negative 4 times 1, negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 15, positive 60. Over 2 times 1 is 2. Next step. X equals 2 plus minus square root of 64 over 2. X equals 2 plus minus, what is square root of 64? 8 over 2. And at this point we can write our two equations. X sub 1 is 2, what else? Plus 8 over 2 because of this one. Our x sub 2 is 2 what? Minus 8 over 2. Let's simplify. 10 over 2 is 5. Negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. These are my x-intercepts, roots, zeros, my solutions. Okay? All right. Number 41. Yeah, we are. Give me a second. All right, so for completing the square, once again, they're going to ask you for 4 steps. Make sure you substitute 0 for y, and that's standard form. Divide by the leading coefficient, which was a. From there, you eliminate the constant, which is c over a. You subtract both sides, and at the end, you add b over 2 squared, which is here. Number 42. All right, it says the number of laps around the track for 5 runners are 2, 15, 8, 9, and 11. Display the data using the box plot. What is the first thing we do with the information? Order from least to greatest. Here we go. 2, 8, 9, 11, 15. What is Q2? Or the median? Everyone. 9, that's Q2. That goes right here. In between 8 and 10. Now this is our median. So what is the median for these? 8. So that's our Q1, right? 8 is right there. What is our median for these? 11, that's our Q3. Let's get our box done. What's our minimum? 2. What's our maximum? 15. And we're done. Piece of cake? All right, so to number 43. Huh? 43. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in. Hold on. Look up, please. Number 43. For 43, we need to label everything. And all they're asking for is the inner quartile range. So check this out. I'm going to start with the top one. What is the minimum? 21. What is Q1? 24. What is Q2? 32. What is Q3? 34. And what is the maximum? 42. So we're done with that one. Let's go to the bottom one. What is the minimum? 24. What is Q1? 28. What is Q2? 30. And Q3? 35. What is our maximum? 40. Okay. So for this one, they're asking for the inner quartile range. They're asking for the IQR. How do we find the IQR? Q3 minus Q1. Remember that? So, to the top one. What is Q3 for the top one? 34 minus, what is Q1? 24. That gives me 10. To the bottom. What is Q3? 35 minus what's Q1? 28. And what is it? 7. And look what they're asking on the problem. They're asking for the difference between the two. So what does that mean? Now what does that mean? Subtract. So therefore this is 3. So the difference is 3. Number 44. Here we go. It says Joyce asked 50 randomly selected students about information. So here, they give us a table with information, and they want us to find the marginal relative frequencies. So let's see. The marginal relative frequencies are this one, this one, this one, and this one. Which means I need to add these rows. I need a total over here. So I'm adding going that way first. What is 12 plus 13? 25. What is 15 plus 10? 25. What is 25 plus 25? So the 50 goes right here in this box right here. So, how do we find this? We do 25 over 50. 25 over 50. So, who remembers the little shortcut I showed you guys? 25 over 50, and I said, in order to get percentages, it has to be over 100, so this is 50 times what gives me 100? My goodness. Times 2. So times 2, this is 50. So what is 50 over 100? It's 0.50. What is 0.50 in percent? 50%. So notice that this one's the same, so you just need to write 0.50, 50%. So now, we need to find these two. So we need to add going this direction. 13 plus 10, that's 23. 12 plus 15 is 27. So, let's write 23 over 50. So what is the decimal form of that? .46, which is 46%. This one is 27 over 50, which is what? .54, which is 54%. So, guys, so really quick, we already practiced for the past 2 weeks. For those of you that were only copying from people, you're the one that need to do a little bit more studying over the weekend. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to upload this, or let's see if I can have some time right now before we leave. But that's the end of the final study guide. Have a seat. I'll dismiss you guys by sections. Yes. And I'll stop it right there. Have a good one. See you guys till Tuesday.